A great topic I want to talk about. It's, you know, kind of a different take on a topic that I've been kind of sharing about, but it's a great story. I want to share it with you, of course. I like to share stories that people tell me and opportunities that they have to bless somebody and to really reach out and change somebody's life through the course of a conversation or even just a handshake or just a fellowship. So so the story goes on, and Bailey decided to talk to Terry about, hey, kind of explain what happened with the story. And so anyway, first question she asked was, what was your first interaction with Mike? And Terry said, I saw him panhandling downtown outside of 10,000 villages. I stopped to have a conversation with him because I could tell he'd been drinking heavily. We chatted a little bit about my own experience of being on the street with addiction, and we just started with a conversation. A simple conversation, just started with a conversation. Did the point of rehab, the point of detox didn't even come up in that conversation. It was just Terry saw a need, a guy who needed to just have a conversation, and sat down with him and started to talk to him. And I love doing that. I love just sitting there and having conversations with people. I love it when people just do simple acts as that, because out of the simpleness of an act can come the greatness of a healing. I mean, it's just crazy. So she went on and asked her, where did Mike sleep? And Terry answered, Mike started out sleeping in the park, but then he got jumped 4 or 5 times. This is heartbreaking. His eardrum and eye socket were broken from being jumped while asleep. Most of the people running around took advantage of Mike because of the fact that he was drunk most of the time, passed out and homeless. After that, he slept in a 2-foot space between a dumpster and a wall. Now, 2 feet, that's not a lot of space. 2 feet. Wow. And then she asked, walk me through more of Mike's story. And Terry answered, well, previously Mike had been very successful. He had been married with kids and owned a nice home and a car. He had been sober for 13 years, but one day he stopped attending meetings, working on a program, and praying. Over the course of the next 2 years, he got divorced, became sober again, remarried his wife, then lost his job and returned to alcoholism. By the time we were first started seeing him on the streets, he had already been to a safe house and tried to achieve sobriety in Champaign. The truth is, people drink and drug because of what's going on inside of them. Absolutely. Absolutely. Which in Mike's case was seen through his PTSD from childhood, depression, and other issues. His alcoholism was blatantly taking its toll. He had several cuts, scrapes, and bruises where he had fallen off benches. He even broke his ribs one time. Tony and Terry had gotten called out numerous times by various community resources to check on him. And Terry continued to check on him several times throughout the week just to make sure he was still alive. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? I just send text messages to people just to see how their days are going. Could you imagine having to go check on a guy just to make sure he's alive? And I've never ever had to do that with a friend of mine. Never just, hey man, how's it going? What made you continue to wanting to help him? And this is the cool part of the story. This is the part of the story that just resonates Jesus all over it. All over the story. Absolutely, that's right. God's grace is, by God's grace, we might all be where Mike is. We could all be where Mike is for God's grace. And we can't waste that grace on just making sure we don't get there. But we got to use that grace to help make sure people can get where we're at, from where they are. It's always reaching out and reaching up, and and lending a hand. I saw Terry answered. I saw a lot of myself in him when I was active in my own addiction. He's just one of those guys that got my attention. One of those guys that continue to panhandle and drink every day. Those are the most vulnerable people, and they are the ones I want to try to help and reach. It's all about the relationship. Continuing to make yourself available, even if you don't stop talking. If you honk or wave as you are going by, or have a small conversation with them and are patient with them. Just letting them know that we are still around and available. I probably told Mike about 50 times, come see me, man. I'm not going away. If you want the solution, if you still want to get out the street, come see me. And I love this end of the sentence. He doesn't say, I'll see what I can do for you. This is the Jesus in Matthew 25. He said, and I'll still help you. I'll help you. I won't see what I can do. I will help you. Just the way Jesus speaks in our lives when we're struggling with something, Jesus says, I can help you. I got the answer, man. I know it. I wrote it. I lived it. I died it. I was in death for it. I rose from the death for it because I had the answer. And I can help you. That's a God answer right there. I'll still help you. And then they asked, did the Phoenix provide him with any services when he came in? Yes, he was in here 4 or 5 times to take a shower and play cards with a few people. However, it was hard for him to come in here. When you're hanging out on the street like that, it's hard to break away from the alcohol and come to receive services. I'm sure it is, because you're carrying around all that shame and guilt, and the devil's been in your ear while you're on the street saying you're no good. The world's been in your ear, kicking you in your eye and in your mouth and in your ribs and all that, telling you you're no good, you're a bum, living on the streets, you ain't worth nothing, you ain't got nothing, you don't deserve nothing, you can't get nothing, you're never going to be nothing, you're never going to go nowhere. It's all in your ears playing like a broken record. And here's Terry and see you at home shouting as loud as a whisper through all that going, we can help. We will help you. We're here. And it's tough. It's tough for people to hear that when they think they're just what the world and the devil says that they are, which is just a one big lie. I lived that lie for 37 years. I lived with that devil in my ear every day telling me I'm no better than that bottle of alcohol that is sitting in front of me. I'm no better than the hurt and the wounds that I carried with me from my childhood. But God broke through one night. Do I still struggle with issues? Absolutely. But you know what? Just like Mike now with Terry and See You at Home, he knows where he can go to get help. He knows where there's people that's genuinely waiting for people like Mike to come in and say, man, I'm glad you're here. What can I do for you? How can I help you? Let's not figure this out so you can figure it out. Let's figure it out together. Let's grow together. I want to help you, but you're going to help me. You're going to help me learn how to help you, and in turn learn how to help other people. And it just dominoes. It's just such a great domino effect. I've seen it so many times in so many lives. So that's when people, kind of look down and say discouraging things. I just take that and say, come walk with me for a day. Come sit with me while I talk to Tony or Danny or the other fellas that I hang out with. Come sit and listen to their stories and listen. I'm telling you, it will change your life. How long was it from the first time you met Mike until you took him to detox? About 5 months at least. It definitely was a process. So it was a process. What was the trip to detox like? I could tell that Mike had truly hit his bottom both emotionally and spiritually. He was just tired of being sick and tired. Has anybody ever felt like that out there? Have you ever felt just tired of being sick and tired? I know I have. I was sick and tired a couple days ago, and I'm telling you, I'm not a very good sick patient. My wife can attest to that. I hate being sick. Because when I get sick, I'm sick. It's not a moderate sick for me. It's either all or nothing for me. I mean, I still have a little bit of a sniffle, but man. So I know what it's like to be sick and tired. But he was grateful. But it was hard for a guy like him and for me when I went through that to understand why I was trying to help him. That's the hard part. Is guys trying to understand why. If so many people are telling me all this negative stuff about me, why are you different? Why are you trying to help me? Why are you trying to tell me to ignore all this other junk and actually believe in myself and believe that change can actually happen in my life? You know, you couldn't understand why we kept going out in the middle of the night when the police would call us, and why we would just keep stopping and trying to be friendly to him or offer socks or water. A few times he says, "What do you want from me? Why do you keep bothering me?" The truth of the matter was that we were just trying to let him know that we loved him and we were here for him. How many times have we done that to Jesus? How many times does he come knocking on the door of our heart and go, "I'm here," and we say, "Why are you bothering me? What do you want from me?" You know? And how many times Jesus has just said, "I just want to tell you I love you and I'm here for you, man. Whenever you're ready, I'm here for you." On the way to detox, he was grateful and full of tears. He opened up and talked about how he had lost his faith in God and wanted to get it back. For me, that was really cool. When you are active in your addiction or alcoholism, every person has a huge hole in them. In the program we work, it talks about how there is a God-sized hole that only can be filled by God. He knew that. He had the knowledge. He had a strong walk with Jesus. But he lost track of that and replaced it with alcohol. What was the change in him when you saw him, the ride to detox versus the ride to the recovery house? Now this part of the story is fantastically cool. This is just a 15-day detox. 15 days, 2 weeks. 2 weeks of being out of the world. 2 weeks of being submerged, just you and God, surrounded by people who love you, who care for you, who want to see you win. Not only beat it, but win. There's a difference between beating something and winning. It's a big difference. When I went and got him from detox, I could see the change in his eyes. For most alcoholics or addicts, you see the change in their eyes before you see it anywhere else. Your eyes will show what your heart is feeling, especially when you are free from the alcohol and drugs. It's amazing to experience and be able to see that change, almost as though a light bulb has come on. Their eyes are bright and shining, full of joy and happy because their body isn't consumed by substance. I picked him up and gave him a huge hug. We talked about what he had been through, his family, and his future goals. We both were able to share more about our own experiences. 2.5 hours of driving and talking about what we've been through in our own lives. I don't know who was helping who more that day. You know, me or him. I truly believe that. Matthew 25, when the righteous said to Jesus, when did we help you, Jesus? When did we do this? It's that whole when we do stuff without really realizing that we're doing it in a way, it's just normal. It just comes natural. When helping and blessing somebody just becomes natural, and you just live out every opportunity that you get to help somebody. It's just amazing, because it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember that. I just thought I was being nice, or whatever. It's just crazy when it just becomes a normal part of our everyday life. Did the staff of the detox facility share anything with you when you picked him up? The staff told me that once Mike got everything out of the system, it was like seeing a night and day difference. He threw himself into groups, was openly sharing about his experiences, and was even, oh my gosh, was even trying to help the younger guys in detox. While this guy was struggling to get over his own demons, he turned around and said, I'm going to help you get over your demons. See how that works when God is in the middle? Nothing is stronger than the power of God. Nothing is stronger than the healing power of God. And when the healing power of God gets a hold of you, you can't contain it. It just goes like wildfire. It just spreads like crazy. And you just seek out, oh my gosh. This guy Mike, I'm telling you, this guy Mike is going to be a life changer. He's going to be a world changer because he gets it. And he's got God now. And he knows where to get the answers. And it all happened because one guy decided he wasn't going to give up on him. He saw this guy who had a need and said, you know what? I'm here for you, brother. Come see me and I'll help you. Such a simple statement. But out of that simple statement came a world of change. And not only for Mike, but think about the younger guys in detox now that would have never, ever had Mike to tell them that they can do greater things in their life than the addiction tells them who they are, because if Terry hadn't stopped to tell Mike, and if somebody hadn't stopped to tell Terry, or hadn't stopped to tell the guy that told Terry, now these younger guys are going to get blessed and healed and delivered, and then they're going to go out and tell other people, and those guys are going to get healed, and those guys are going to realize that the creation that they were made to be in the eyes of God is not this junk that they're walking out and living out every day of their life. That's not who they were created to be. And it's just amazing to see how one man's persistence is now changing so many other lives. It's just powerful. It just blows me away. I love it. I'm grinning from ear to ear here in the studio. It's just amazing. I mean, I want to go out and talk to somebody now. I want to go out and reach out to somebody. Man, it's just phenomenal. It's just powerful. So they asked, what's Mike's plans on moving forward? So they took Mike to the recovery housing program where he works, does chores, he pays a small program fee, and he's mentored. It's a place to add discipline back into his life. We all need structure, and to get used to being sober. And for me, on a personal level, being a recovering alcoholic, getting used to being sober when I first started to do it sucked. It was no fun. I mean, it was sickness, it was illness, I was fatigued, I had, I was the life of the party, I had a lot of friends, stopped going out, stopped drinking, and all of a sudden it seemed like all of that just went away. So now I had to create a new identity, like Mike is having to do, a new identity in sobriety. But I'm telling you, when you get it and you understand it, like Mike will, and he's starting to right now, and I just pray that God just keeps working in his life and building on that foundation that he started with Terry and detox, and knowing that the all-powering, ever-loving God is not going to walk away from him, and that he's still saying, I'll still help you. We may fall, I'll still help you. You may run away, I'm coming running after you because I'm going to still help you. Jesus never ever gets to the point and says, okay, enough's enough. I'm done helping. You're just going to have to deal with it on your own. Jesus will never tell us that. Jesus will never tell Mike that. Jesus will never tell you that. Whatever you're going through in life, and whatever you're struggling with, Jesus will never, ever tell you, I wash my hands of you. Figure it out on your own. Because God's already figured it out. He figured it out by sending his son into this world to live a life that we could not live ourselves, to walk through the life that the pains and the hurts and the doubts and the hang-ups and all that stuff he witnessed. Hurts, anger, sadness, sickness, disease. He saw all that. He walked in that. He healed that. He loved people. He didn't see people for their addictions. He didn't see people for their diseases. He even loved the Pharisees. You can call me a hypocrite all you want. He loved the Pharisees. He loved Caiaphas just as much as he loved Judas or Peter or John or any of his disciples. He loved the people that didn't love him just as much as he loved the people who did love him. And he told everybody equally, I'm here. He even told the children, come unto me. Let the children come unto me. Don't keep them away. Jesus had no age limit on his ministry, on his outreach. Jesus reached out to people of all ages because he knew people of all ages, like my friend Jonathan, young man. He knew Jonathan's going to go out and change the world. And he knew Jonathan's going to have a heart for him. And it's just crazy. He didn't wait and say, hey, Jonathan, wait till you're 18. Wait till you become an adult, and then we can do some. No, man, he took that seed that Jonathan planted and said, Lord, make it whatever you want to make it. And God said, all right, I'm going to help you. And it's just crazy. I mean, it's just fantastic to watch this young boy just get it. And I love it when the young kids get it. Because I'm telling you, you want to change the world, you got to stop messing around with these old crusty dudes. They don't get it. They're set in their ways. They ain't going to change nothing. They don't want to change nothing. They just want to argue and bicker and carry on and do whatever. You want to change the world? Get the kids involved. Get your kids involved. Show them, take them out on an outreach. Take them somewhere and show them what it's like to truly reach out to somebody who has a need. In your church, on the streets, wherever. The need is great. The Bible says that the wheat fields are ripe and the workers are few. So there's plenty of opportunities out there to take your family and show them what it's like. And show them how God's love can truly impact somebody's life. And I'm telling you, when the kids get it, they'll go tell their friends because they're not afraid. They'll go tell their friends. And then their friends will get excited about it. Just like at one winter night, every year it just seems like the younger kids are getting more and more and more. There's more and more younger kids, high school kids, elementary kids with their parents are coming out and they're seeing what it's like to see other people and get to participate in, helping other people. Spending time to see what it truly means to not have anything. And it's not a, hey, if you don't shape up and you don't do right, this is where you're gonna end up kind of night. It's not that at all. It's a, hey man, life sucks sometimes and life is hard and life has beat down a lot of people, but we know the answer and we know how they can win, and we want to come together as a community, as a neighborhood, as two towns, as one, and want to just come together and just say, you know what, for 12 hours we're going to live out Matthew 25. We're going to raise funds to help clothe them, take them to detox when they're sick. We're going to feed them. We're going to shower them. We're going to wash their clothes. We're going to give them clothes. We're going to do whatever it takes to help them get back to the road that God intentionally put in their life. Because each of us is born with a path in our life. We're not just born willy-nilly. We're not just born haphazardly. We're each born with a destiny and a purpose. And the destiny and purpose is to love one another and love God, and to build relationships and to commune with each other. That may look different for everybody, but the purpose is still the same. We've got to love people. And so, to finish up with Mike, he's doing great now. He's currently in his transitional living home and plans to get back together to his supportive wife and family. And in short, Mike just wants to live a normal life again, a sober life, a faith-filled life. And I know he's going to achieve that. And all of this is going to be done because of one guy, Jesus, who spoke into Terry's heart one day and says, "See that guy over there? I want you to just go have a conversation with him. I just want you to sit down and ask him how he's doing." And out of that simple conversation, a life was truly changed. And so many more are going to be changed. I just know it. I just feel it. God isn't a singular changer. God just doesn't change one life to change one life. He changes a life to change so many others. And it's just crazy. I love it. And so, thank you again for tuning in. This is such a powerful story. Thank you, Terry, for sharing it with me last night. Thank you, Bailey, for writing it. Thank you, God, for directing it and walking it out. And we'll see you again on Monday. And just have a great weekend, everybody. And remember, I always like to end the show. Just go out and make a stranger a friend this weekend. Just look for an opportunity to say hi to somebody that you don't know and just start a conversation, because as we've learned from Mike, a simple conversation can lead to a truly transforming moment with the power of God's love. We love you here at East to West. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you again Monday at 4 p.m. right here on WRFU 104.5. Have a great night, guys.